Okay, here's another example of the Asian range used, and this is very recent. This is just on Wednesday of June 20th, 2023 for anyone watching far in the future. We covered this in the live. If you go to the time and price section of the core concepts, I know this is the liquidity section, but if you go to the time and price section, again, liquidity is so linked with everything that we're doing here. But if you go to the time and price section, you'll see that we covered this, and we covered the power of 3 in a lot of detail as well in that section. Okay, so here on Wednesday, this would be Tuesday night heading into Wednesday morning, New York time, of course. We see the Asian range form, and in the Asian range here, it is just a trending market, right? When we think about a range, we're typically thinking about price stuck between 2 points. But when we're looking at session ranges, we're just looking at the highest high and the lowest low, right? Looking at this, you might think, oh, we'll come up into here, take some liquidity here, and then reverse. But that's not the case. That's not what we look for. We look for raids above the high in a bearish scenario, or raids above the low in a bullish scenario. Let's take a little walk through price here. What we want to do, first off, is take the high of the Asian range, and I want all of you guys to do this on your own. Go back to the charts, do it right after this video. Mark out the 7 p.m. and 12 a.m. Set your settings here to New York to make it easier for yourself. And then mark it from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. If you use an indicator, it may stretch the Asian range out to 1 p.m. or even 2 p.m. But the way that we look at it is strictly up until 12 a.m. Okay? 12 a.m. Stretch that out in time to, if you're bearish, stretch the high out to 11 a.m. If you're bullish, stretch the high out, the low out to 11 a.m. Okay? Because this is roughly the end of our trading day. This is heading into lunch. We don't expect too much craziness to happen, right? We're looking for something to happen within the hours of 12 a.m. and 11 a.m. Okay? So over London or New York session, we're looking for a raid followed by displacement out or a distribution. Okay? This raid can happen in London session, it can happen in New York session, but we do not have any interest in it if it happens past 11 o'clock in most cases, okay? We want to limit our trading to this time of 12 to 11, okay? Now following through price, we can see a raid on the Asian low in New York session, followed by fill of an FEG. Right? 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap, 4 tap, no problem. Still valid. Doesn't matter how many times it taps into it. You can see bodies respecting, not coming below. Of course, this one is after the raid, so we don't expect this one to hold. Then this FEG carries us through into the Asian range high. Notice all of these equals, they don't get rated. Just comes above the Asian high. Why? Because there's not institutional involvement at these prices. Time of day versus Asian session range. Massive portion of the world is awake and doing business at this time. Asia, the oceanic side of the world, doing business at this time. And then we understand that there are stops below and stops above. Billions of dollars worth. Okay, so rated. FEG created. This is, of course, a counter bias trade here. Very, very valid, but very risky. And I wouldn't suggest taking it unless you really know what you're looking for and you're seasoned. Okay. Until then, take it with your bias in mind. And me, I've been trading funded since 2021, and I still really only trade with my bias because it's the most profitable and the less likely that you'll mess up. Okay, so when we raid here, distribute down, another thing we could do, just like I pointed out earlier, is we can measure the Asian range. So copy my settings here, 0, 1, 0, 1, -2, -3, -4. You can go on and on and on, -5, -6, it doesn't matter. We're going to take it from the high to the low of the range, and we're going to look down. we're going to go to a higher time frame, and we're going to look for a POI that overlaps with one of these deviations. So the most obvious one here, if you look at this, what do you see? Anything specific in here? See a push up here, a push up here, and then some sort of choppy, more unsure push up here. But we see this one is very distinctive. We have a push down into liquidity, and then a distinct impulse up, that break structure. That gives us an order block. If I extend that order block out in time, you can see it nearly overlaps with 1, 2 standard deviations of the Asian range. This is an expected area for a reversal, which happens on a lower time frame at least, and a very good area to then take profit. Okay, so if we were to enter above this high, stop above this high, what can we target? We don't need to target here. We can target below here in this order block. Okay, liquidity, order block. 3, 2 standard deviations of the Asian range, all lines up. This is not happenstance. This is absolutely fact. Okay, now again, the following day on Thursday, this was Wednesday, on Thursday, we grab this, drag it over. 1, 2, 3, 4 standard deviations of the Asian range. This leg continuing. Where does it stop? Right on another order block. This is a take on liquidity, push up, last down candle. Another order block with 1, 2, 3, 4 standard deviations of the Asian range. Look how price is reacting to this. Repriced down to nearly the T. You can see how we've consolidated at this region. This is how we can use time and price to even make targets, not just entries, but also confirming our targets even further. Order block, 2 standard deviations, order block, 4 standard deviations, large reaction, pause in the market.